So I can flick between the two.
Okay, yeah, okay.
By the way, what's the date today?
Today is the something or other, 17th or something.
So it's March 9th,
11th.
2018.
Yeah.
And I'm 55 years of age.
And it's a Sunday.
And it's a Sunday. I'm 55 years of age and you are
80.
80.
That's
80.
correct. That's correct.
So we are recording this for posterity.
Oh, yeah.
We are recording this so that we have a record
Yep.
for my children's children.
That's right.
So that they know a little bit about my father, their grandfather, their great-grandfather and so on. So you were born in 1937.
Yep. 12th of September 1937.
The 12th of September 1937. And tell us a bit, by the way, where were you born?
Born in Subiaco, in the hospital in Subiaco.
And Mum was Connie,
yeah.
and father was
William Ernest. Bill.
Bill.
Bill was his name, yep.
Yep. And, well, my memory is of you living in Vincent Street, Netherlands.
Yeah.
Was there any place before that?
Only Subiaco Road. That's all I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Subi?
In Subiaco.
Okay.
Where it was a family home of my grandmother and grandfather.
And then you...
Then they obviously moved out somewhere. I don't know. They went into Vincent Street, Netherlands.
You didn't build that house. Your mum and dad didn't build that house.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, well, I assume they built it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was where basically you grew up.
Yeah, it was. Oh God, yes. Yep. It wasn't until I married Pamela Allen
Then you moved out.
that I moved out.
So the big question is, you lived there from basically just shortly after you were born in 1937.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what date we went to before we. Well, it wasn't until Pam and I got together that we moved.
Yeah.
To Hollywood.
Hollywood for a very short time.
Yeah.
Backtrack to Netherlands.
Yeah.
Tell us about Vincent Street, Netherlands, because this is in the 1940s.
Yeah.
So you were born in 1937.
Yeah.
World War II started in 1939.
Yeah.
America got pulled into it in 1941, of course.
Yeah.
Pearl Harbor.
That's right.
What's your memories of the war, the Second World War? I know that you moved up.
Yeah. The only memory I have of the Second World War is when my first day at school, we moved up to the hills because the Japanese were going to invade Western Australia. So we went up to the hills and we stayed in my Uncle Clem's house in Leone Road, was it?
Lenore
Road. And my first day at school was up there.
Mary's Mount.
Yep. It still exists, I think.
Yep.
And so I spent the first day at school there. I don't think I was there much longer than probably 12 months. Anyway, that's by the by.
But that would have been you were born in 37. That means in 1942, you would have been 5 years of age.
Yeah, that's
grade
right.
1.
Yeah, that's right.
Any other memories of the war?
Not really. The only memories I have is of the area that I grew up in. You know.
Do you remember the war finishing?
No.
I mean, you were 8.
No. Yeah.
So tell us, so now we've got this span of time between at Vincent Street and growing up, and obviously you went to Claremont Elementary.
Claremont Practicing.
But
Prac.
So in those days, we had Vincent Street, Netherlands.
Yeah.
You were 56 or 54.
What?
Number 56 or 54.
Oh, 54. I thought you were talking about age.
No, 56 or 54.
Blank.
Oh, well, let's keep going.
Yeah.
So what's your memory of the road? And was there much bush around? There was all houses, obviously.
Yeah, I would imagine it'd be mostly houses.
There was an alleyway running behind all of the houses in those
Yeah,
days.
that's right.
What was the alleyway for?
The alleyway was where the toilets were backed onto, and the toilet man used to come and open the door, pull out the dunny, and put a fresh one in.
Was that a tin can or whatever?
Well, I suppose it was. Yeah,
Yes.
would have been. And they put a new one, and they'd take the old one away, and all that sort of thing. I don't know how many times a week they did that, but I would imagine they'd have to do it 2 or 3 times a week. So that was what it was for.
Now, this lady will have long since passed away, so we can record this. Tell us about the time you used to...
Myself and Johnny Gilbert, we went down the lane one day, and we were cheeky little kids, and we waited till the lady sat on the toilet, and we could see it through the door at the back of the toilet, and then we hit it with a stick. Bang, 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 bang.
So you lift up the latch, and there'd be the tin can she's sitting on, and then whack it with a stick and drop it and run like crazy.
Yeah. So we would have been about probably 4 or 5 years of age, maybe 6.
What games did you play in those days?
Footy, that's about all we played.
Yeah, I mean, you would have played the normal chasey and hidey and climbing trees and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's about all.
And you said, I remember we were just talking about it just recently, Non, Dad's mum, Connie, why did she like to be called Non? Mixture between Nana and Connie?
Probably was, I don't really know. I've never been able to answer that.
So, I remember we were talking about her, and there was like a hole in the wall in the kitchen of the house, and there'd be like a latched door that you could lift up.
Oh, yeah.
You said something about the bread man used to deliver bread.
The bread man used to deliver, and so did the local
grocer.
Grocer. He used to, because this was a, what do you call it? Anyway, he could open it from the outside and put the bread in there. Or the other guy would open the outside and put the cheese and all the rest of it in, and we could open it from the inside and get it. Mm. So it was all personal. They just come and walk around to your backyard.
How would Non make the order? How would he know she wanted bread?
I don't know.
This is before TVs.
Yeah, but we did have a phone, which means you could have used the phone, but it was one of those phones where you had to dial, pick it up and you dial and dial.
Yeah. So it's a wall phone where you would hang it up.
Yeah,
you hold on to the.
Yeah. I don't know. They must have done it that way because there's no way Mum would walk down 4 blocks. Yeah. 5 blocks.
To Stirling Highway or whatever it was.
He'd probably get, when he opened to deliver, he'd probably get the note saying for the next time.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah. It worked that way. Worked all right. Good.
So, and I don't know, was the fridge an electric fridge in those days? Was it a Coolgardie safe? Was it a block of ice on the top?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Was it? It was so.
Yeah. Because the ice man used to come. Yeah, that's right.
So in the top of the fridge, where the freezer normally is,
was the ice.
Was a large block of ice, and he would slide the block of ice in.
Yeah.
What happens when the water of the ice melts? Would that just?
Don't know.
So that was the only way the fridge stayed cold.
Yeah.
Butter, milk.
Yeah. But it means he must have come often enough to get out and put the new stuff in.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if we fast forward through, you played footy, you played hockey.
Well, when I got to 17, 18, that's when I started to play hockey.
Oh, okay. So you were playing footy.
I didn't play hockey. Hockey wasn't a big game in those years, and the school, all you had really was football at the school, and cricket, and that was it.
Footy during winter, cricket during summer.
Yeah, that's all it was.
No soccer.
No soccer.
No
tennis.
Rugby.
No rugby. That was from the eastern states.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's all there was. That was anything was offered to us.
Did you listen to the radio at night times? Because it's before TV.
Yeah, we did. You listened to the radio. Just trying to think. Anyway, we did certainly have the radio.
Yeah.
The wireless. It was called the wireless.
Mm-hmm.
Not the radio.
Or the transistor. A transistor radio. No, it would have been before that. It was a wireless.
No, there's a wireless.
They must have called it a wireless because
Yeah.
it wouldn't have had wires. I don't know.
No.
Okay, so fast forward, we've got you going through schooling. You went to St. Louis,
St. Louis, yep, St. Louis Jesuit College.
and you were taught by Jesuit priests.
Jesuit priest, yeah.
And
We think there was a deal done where Sean and John, my brother, and I, we went to a non-Catholic primary school. And because my father was a non-Catholic, he was a mason in the masonry business. And I think there must have been a deal done with Mum that, okay, well, let the boys go to a non-Catholic primary school, but then they go to a Jesuit college. Because Mum took us up to Mass, she made sure we were Catholics. But so that was the deal done, I reckon. That was, we were...
what's your memories of St. Louis?
Oh, good. I've got some very good friends still from those days, and I'm 80 years of age.
By the way, kids these days will have heard about punishment, corporal punishment, getting the cane or the strap. Do you remember much of that?
Yeah, I remember getting the strap once or twice. That's about all.
Yeah. But then that was still in the 70s.
It was a leather strap about that long, and about that thick.
Yeah.
Bang. I can remember seeing one of our kids get it.
One of the kids in the class.
One of the kids in the class got it.
And
Cyril White got it, and he was when Father. Oh, what's his name? Yeah, terrible name. Not terrible name. His style. And he came down and he hit
this
Cyril,
kid,
and Cyril grabbed it. And the father was saying, hey, let that go, boy. Let that go, boy. And Cyril pulling back. let that go, boy. Let that. Yeah. And finally let it go, I suppose.
Because that was in the 1937. That was in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The strap and the cane continued through the 60s and in the 70s. In 1974, I was in year 7.
Yeah.
And I got the cane. The brother that had my class, Brother Finan, he used the cane. The brother next door, he used the strap, Brother John, was his name.
Yeah.
And I got the cane 14 times in year 7.
Really? 14 times?
And even to this, spread throughout the year, of course.
Yeah.
But if you didn't do your homework, you got the cane.
Yeah.
If you were late from class for the second, you got the cane.
Yeah.
And I still, to this day, if I get a stick in the bush and I go like that and make that sound, my fingers tingle. So, but I wasn't traumatised as a result of that, and I sure as hell you weren't either.
No.
So you still had normal schooling?
Yeah, normal schooling, yeah. Just didn't go.
But you went to year 10, didn't you? Or that was not year 10, that was 3rd year.
What was it? I don't know what
you did primary school, then you did high school, and you got a leavers certificate? No,
not a leaving. No, I got a junior certificate.
So, but that was like you were 15 years of age. That's about, in our days, about year 10. So about 14, 15 years of age.
Yeah.
And
that was
very few people would have gone on to keep studying and go to university.
Yeah.
Everyone left and got a job.
I still know a few of them who've gone on. They became judges and all that sort of thing.
Jeff Hammond?
Jeff Hammond. Jeff was my cousin's husband. Yeah.
So your first job was that?
That was when my father had died, and I was just told, you're now going to work for Bankers and Traders Insurance, because my father had been in insurance and he passed away.
And let's just talk about that for a second. How you were 13?
When I left to go to work.
No, when your dad died.
I was 13. Yeah, 13. I would have been.
What's your memory of your dad dying?
Very little, actually.
He was 51?
Yeah, but I can't remember him dying. I can't remember him in bed dying or anything like that. I think, being 13 years later, they just kept me away. Sure, John would have seen Dad, probably. I don't know. But,
he died. Did he die in the garden, or did he die? He died at home.
He died at home. Yeah. He had angina pain.
Yep. So heart problems.
In those days, you're dead.
Yeah.
Don't even question it.
They said get your affairs in order.
That's what they said. If you get your affairs in order, you're going to drop dead, and he did.
And your memory is of the doctor, Dr. Cook, whoever it was, walking out and saying to your mum,
"He's dead, Mrs. Allen."
And you dreamt that beforehand, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I did. I had dreamt it beforehand, yeah. He's dead, Mrs. Allen. I'll never forget that. So,
at 14 years of age or whatever it was.
Yeah. And Wiggs came over, because Wiggs Nichols was a good friend of my mother's. She lived over the road.
And down one or something?
Down one, Bob Nichols. You met Bob Nichols, the son, and I remember them being at the front.
So if you're 14, you're born in 1937, 47, that's about 1951.
Yeah, it would be, yeah. So, it was interesting, area. And then, because Mum then took a job at the P&O Hotel, which my uncle owned. And she earned some money there. She got a widow's pension, that was about all you could say. Apart from that, she had nothing.
You had a car? She had a car?
She had an old car, yeah.
What did she drive?
Oh, God, I don't know. No, I wouldn't have the faintest idea.
Because my first memory of a car, we've got photos of you washing an Anglia and me washing a trike.
I think a trike,
my little trike kid.
I see.
I was 3 or whatever it was. And I've got the bucket and the water, and there's an Anglia in the background.
Oh, right.
And this is 1965. And you're washing an Anglia. And I'm washing a trike. I think it was an Anglia, either that or a V-double or something like that.
Yeah.
So now we come to the important part of your life.
Yeah.
Actually, before we go on to Mum, Edgar Cook.
Yeah, Eric Cook. He was the last man hung in Western Australia, probably in Australia actually, for the murder of John Sturkey on our back veranda.
Amongst others.
That was what he was hung for.
Was that what he was hung for?
Yeah.
What about Mr. Walmsley across the back?
Oh yeah, well they're all involved.
Yeah.
Mr. Walmsley got shot.
2 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock in the morning, he just Eric Cook rang the doorbell. 2 o'clock in the morning, Mr. Walmsley opened the door to say yes, and something, bang, shot him dead. Came through and shot John Sturkey.
He stood at the bottom of your mum's bed.
He decided not to shoot her because she looked too old.
I'd been born at that stage, so you and me and Mum were living in Mount Claremont, and
that'd be right.
I wouldn't have been in Hollywood. That's okay. It's still going. So,
that's right.
Anyway, and Mum, your mum was there. Her sister was there, Pauline. Who was it?
No, she was my cousin.
There was someone else there at the time in the house.
Oh no, Pauline was over visiting from Canberra.
Okay.
She was my cousin, of course, and still is.
Yeah.
And Mum had set up a bed for her in the
spare room to sleep out or whatever it was called.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a sleep out. There was the main room with the fireplace and all the rest of it, and alongside it was the dining room.
Yeah, I remember that.
So Mum had set up a bed in the dining room.
Okay.
So Eric Cook walked in and obviously didn't see her.
Decided not to kill.
I think because he was too old, and then took off and did his other deeds.
And shot John Sturkey.
Yeah, that's right. So Pauline heard this noise going outside, and she's thinking, John, let's shut up and go to sleep. In the end, she got up and went out, and John had been shot through the head.
Wow.
On the back veranda on a hot summer's night. When in those days, I slept outside on the veranda also.
Wow.
But Marnie and I were then just married.
Yep.
So, but we all slept outside on the hot summer's night. That's what you did.
I remember you pulling a mattress onto the back lawn at Landon Way, and all of us sleeping because it was too hot to sleep inside. All of us would sleep on a mattress on the back lawn.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, that's what it was.
And that was at 15 Landon Way, Mount Claremont.
Yeah.
So that was where, if we bypass, that event, and so then I come onto the scene in 1962, Stuart's born in 1964.
Yeah.
Christine would have been born about 1969. So in the 60s, you and Mum had 3 kids.
Yeah.
And you were living in Lambton Way,
Yeah.
Mount Clermont.
Yeah.
What are your memories of that? Of that house or
Mount Clermont.
of
Not much, I must admit. There's had some nice neighbours who
yeah, that's true.
knew later on, but
There were kids up and down the street.
the kids
Johnny
like
Aquila
Johnny Aquila
and
so-
Willie, or what his name
Yeah.
was, down the road. I'm sure Stuart had friends too. I
Yeah,
just remember
yeah.
my friends.
Yeah.
Who'd you work for then? Was that was in
Well,
West Australia, or was that in
No,
Imperial
they
Print?
were Bankers and Traders Insurance. I think I still work for them.
Yeah.
For about 5 years I worked for them, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was, what did I say?
Because in 1969
Yeah.
we went to Melbourne. So you were
Yeah.
given the
Yeah.
job of running the West Australian from the Melbourne offices.
Yeah, that's
Is
right.
that right?
That's right.
And that's in 1969.
Yeah. To 72.
We just moved to Karrinyup.
Yeah.
So in 1969 we moved to Karrinyup. We were there for about 6 months, and you got this posting in Melbourne.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Karrinyup in 1969 was largely bush.
Oh,
You-
good, yeah.
You
yeah.
built 15, it was
Yeah.
number 15 again.
We
you
didn't
built-
build it, no, it had been built prior to us buying it. The owner had, the new owner had died. There was some reason from, anyway, we were the second owners.
Oh.
But the first owner had died. He was a journalist, I think. I'd have to look it up, I don't know.
Right.
Mm.
So, so at this stage, were you working for the West Australia?
Yeah.
So you must have
Yeah,
gone
pretty
from
sure.
Bankers and Traders to West Australia.
Yeah. Hang on, did I go somewhere else in between?
Imperial Print.
Imperial Print. That's right. Bankers and Traders, Imperial Print. And then I started my own little business with Bob Hensel.
Well, that was way down the track because that's in the 70s now.
No,
So because you were West Australian, working for the West Australian, we spent 3 years in Melbourne from 1969 to 1972.
the WO newspapers.
Yes, working for WA News. I was grade 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, and then 3, 4, 5, but a bit
Yeah.
of grade 2 because we were there for 3.5 years or whatever. And then I went back we came back, so we were living in Ursa Street, North Baldwin, in Melbourne, and then the whole family, we all came back and we moved back into Wincanton Road. So your
Yeah.
adult life was spent really working in the newspaper or media type. And by the way, just backtracking a little bit, you did 2 years of national service.
Yes, I did. No, we did 3 months of national service, and then we had to do 2 years part-time. In other words, once a month, or once every couple of months, you had a weekend in national service up at Northern or somewhere else.
Training.
Training. But I was never full-time for 2 years.
Yeah.
We did the first 3 months, and then you're supposed to do 2 years part-time.
Okay.
So I did the 3 months, mostly at Rottnest, bit at Northern.
Battle of Rottnest.
Battle of Rottnest, yeah. And then we...
What's your memories of national service? Now this is post World War II. Post World War II, and prior to Vietnam.
Yeah.
Vietnam was in the 60s and of course in the 70s. And you would have done your national service in the late 50s before you married Mum.
1956.
Okay.
I was in national service.
Yeah.
Wow. Then we went for the 2-year tricky little thing. We had to turn up once a month or once every quarter. And I was in the 24th Heavy ACAC.
What does ACAC mean?
Well, that was the big guns, man.
Okay, yep.
Where the ACAC came from, I don't know. And so anyway, after 3 or 4 or 5 months, they decided to disband it because it was out of date.
What, the ACAC or?
The gun was out of date.
Oh, wow.
So we were given the choice, do you want to go into another section or do you want to pull out? Well, the couldn't beat us to the gate. We pulled out. Yeah.
Wow.
So I got away with that. Yeah, so that's all it was. That was all I did for your safety.
And safety of your family
ran
and
away. We ran away.
you led the charge in the wrong direction. So, of course, all kids would have done national service in those
I
days.
had to,
And when did national service finish? I suppose whoever's looking at this video can look it up.
Yeah.
It would have been.
No.
Good question.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's go forward again. Melbourne. We're now in primary school, moving to high school. We moved back to Wincanton Road. Karrinyup originally, the freeway stopped at. Was there a freeway when you first moved it?
No.
There would have been just the main, like a main
somewhere
road.
at Scarborough Beach Road, probably. Or something like that.
Roads would have finished.
Yeah.
Like Karrinyup was the end of the world.
To get to there.
And Non said that.
Karrinyup Road finished almost in the same area that we're living in now.
Yeah.
And that was where Karrinyup Road finished.
And I remember you said that Karrinyup was so far out in the bush.
Oh.
She said that if you ever move to Karrinyup, I'll never come and visit you.
That's exactly right. I told her where we bought this house.
Yes.
And I showed her a map. That's her exact words. Don't it's too far, I'll never come visit you. That was it? Yep. She still used to drive out there, no trouble at all.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, we've gone from Ursa Street in Melbourne back to Wincanton Road, and kids go through high school. You spent most of your time with the West Australian, and then you were in a couple of businesses.
Yeah.
One was Hempsel and Allen.
Yep.
Then it was Mining Monthly.
Mining Monthly, yeah, that's right.
And then finally you opened Allen and Associates. Oh my God, what year would that have been?
Then I ran. I ran.
West Colour Press.
West Colour Press, which was part of the WA newspapers.
That was in Fremantle.
They made me general manager of the West Australian newspapers commercial printing division, and I changed the name to West Colour Press. Then after.
Where'd you get that from? Where'd you get the words Western Australia colour?
They're still using it, I believe, in their makeup now. That doesn't get used at a retail side, but they use the name West Colour somewhere in their operation. It was just after 10 years I got sick of it. And
what made you choose advertising representation? Because by the way, Allen and Associates represented other companies in those days. You could. This is before email. This is before faxes. I think. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
If you wanted to put an advert in a magazine that had its main offices in Sydney, you didn't call Sydney. They would have a representative in Western Australia.
Yeah.
And of which you were the representative for a whole range of
180 magazines and newspapers.
Of which the biggest one was the Herald and
was Murdoch magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So
and the reason I was back, they all came to me was I knocked on their door, but I met them in our Melbourne days. In the 4 years I spent in Melbourne,
of course,
I got to know all these guys at the local pub, and they all worked for Murdoch.
Yeah.
So when I set up my business, they all came to me because there was no other person in Perth doing individual representations. So I was one of the first ones, apart from that idiot.
Keith.
Yeah.
O'Keefe.
Yeah, what's his name?
Kevin O'Keefe.
Kevin O'Keefe, yeah.
Kevin O'Keefe.
Yeah, Kevin O'Keefe. Yeah.
So on the home front, we're still in Wincanton Road.
Yeah.
I've gone through high school. I worked with you for a couple of months, starting up Allen and Associates. You're in Stirling Street?
Stirling Street, yeah, we were.
Yeah, I worked for a couple of months there. Then I've gone off into Teachers College. I don't know what Stuart did. Stuart went straight from school into photographic studies.
Yeah.
Christine worked with you for a little while.
Yeah, she did.
By that stage, you went into 4th Street, I think it was.
Yeah, Wall Street. Yeah, that's right.
Mum was working for the bank. I know she worked for TAB.
Yeah, that's right.
She worked for the bank. Maybe she worked for the Commonwealth Bank up at Karrinyup Shops.
Yeah.
By the way, Karrinyup Shops, when we moved to Karrinyup, that was before Karrinyup Shops were built. That was all bush.
Yep.
I used to jump the fence at Wincanton Road and run through the bush to get to primary school, Karrinyup Primary School.
Right.
And now it's all houses, of course.
Mm.
So, and in those days, of course, Mum would say, go and play. Dinner is at be home before sunset.
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
Yep, so it was in the days before. You didn't have to worry about us getting hit by a car or grabbed by a stranger because that just didn't happen.
No.
She was more worried that we'd be late for dinner or sunset. So, any other memories, because that's half an hour, any other memories of
No, I think that's enough.
your upbringing?
Yeah, I'd like to sit and watch it again, watch it all. And I think I'll have to track some of that stuff in there. I must have written in a book, made a book of it, didn't I? So we can collect all that stuff. Yeah, okay. Turn it off.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was okay.
Yeah, let's just start anyway.
Yeah.